To you, Abba, what do you think of the youth in church nowadays?
What do I think of the youth nowadays?
Or society? Is there society, would I say?
Yeah, in regards to religion and culture.
In regards to religion.
I just think it's a very interesting topic at the moment. It's one that is being touted around. It's one that's been spoken about many times. And I think is so relevant to the day and age that we're in. I think with religion, it has so many different forms, so many different arms. And what happens is over the years, a lot of us as young people, we've come into church with a mindset that, like what Jay said and what everyone's been talking about, we have to earn a relationship with God. And so this trickles down to so many different things. And now it looks sort of cool to profess God without actually having that intimacy with him. So you talk about God, you show that you go to church, but you don't actually know God for yourselves. Yeah. And so this goes into different forms. So for example, things like image, or things like, for example, clubbing, which is a very obvious example, where you do all these things on a Saturday night. I used to do it, so I know what I'm talking about. On a Saturday night.
It's just a confession time.
You drink, your head is hurting, you sleep, but you know what? You still will miss church on Sunday.
some of us
just to tick a box.
Some of us miss it.
And this is trickled down to so many different forms, and now this is now more apparent. This shows now in a lot of young people, because now what happens is that we are now saying God, 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 and we think we can get away with a lot of things that we're doing, but we don't know that we're actually crippling that relationship. God is at the end going to turn to us and say, I know Jay's favorite chapter, but he's going to turn to us and say he didn't know us at all. Yeah. But now with the young people as well, and what's happening a lot now is that we don't want to recognize that we need to make certain sacrifices to be able to come into intimacy with God. And so we want it both ways. We want one foot here, and we're dabbling, moving around with both. We're walking with both people on the side, and we think that at the end of the day, that not one person is going to drag us along. One person has to take us at the end of the day. Good. When you get to the airport, you have to take one flight. You can't catch two flights. Wow. You can't catch two flights. So, but the thing is that now we have to understand that there's a sacrifice that comes with it, and it comes from the circumcision of the heart, as Romans talks about this so profoundly. But I think it's such a massive issue now, and it is in so many different forms: fornication, image, drugs, fraud, so many things. And we think that we can juggle the two. It's not going to happen. It's not possible. It's not possible at all. So we actually rather have to come clean or stay in our mess and, ask God to help us. But,
So for me, I find that in church, with that, what I have a problem with, or had a problem with, I should say, is like when I first gave my life to Christ, I was 27 years old, and there was like leaders that are in position that were like 21, 19, that sort of age. And it's good. Yeah. Like you've been called that, you've been good training. If you're called that, who am I? Yeah. But what I found is they lacked a lot of basic, common sense, practical skills. Yeah. Like how to communicate to people. Yeah. Because they had power for a young person. Yeah. The anointing, that power. Like, it's funny because as much as we laugh at the one, you can laugh at what I'm going to say, Marvel's, when Spider-Man's uncle said, with great power comes with great responsibility. But it's literally that, because he was young, Spider-Man, he's just using it to make money. But that power comes with more responsibility than just making money. Anointing comes with more than just you being anointed. Yeah. It comes with you sharing and character. Wow. There's a difference between anointing and character. Because your character can stink, but you're able to deliver demons. But guess what? The demons are in you as well. Yeah. The man of God once said, God is the only man that can sack someone and you're still in your job. Yeah. So that means you can go around preaching, healing all the sick people, but you yourself are still sick. Yeah. A doctor can get sick, Yeah. A doctor can get sick. A doctor can get sick, but still can work and be a doctor. That still does not take his titles away. So that's what I found a lot with that problem, with the young people having that responsibility sometimes, is they need to learn how to be managed by older guys or people that walk that shoes, or that's a bit ahead of them. Because when you walk in that shoes, you're able to identify the problems or the humps that comes with that road, that territory, the holes that comes with it, the rats and the snakes and the lions, the animals that are around it. You're able to identify that this is where the danger is, this is how to go, this is how you can talk to someone as your young pastor or a young whoever you're supposed to be. And I just found there was too much pride going on because he's giving a young man, a young woman, £100,000 cash in hand, saying, take care of your house, but they're only 18 years old. They're going to go party, they're going to do all type of things. Because when it comes to responsibility in God's in kingdom of Christ, sometimes people feel, how much can I really get away with it? You know, you feel like, how much sin can I get away with it? So no one can see me, no one can. But it's not about the pastor seeing you, it's about your relationship. I think religion, that's what religion does. It stops you from seeing that God can see you. It stops you from understanding it's a relationship. Because you don't understand it's a relationship, so you're getting away with it. It's like a man that I can go and cheat because my wife's not here. It's cool. But if your wife's there, you won't cheat. You'll behave yourself. But you got to have that godly conscience. And when you have that godly conscience, it stops the religions and culture. It stops you from getting offended that someone didn't bow down to me, or someone did not
call me a pastor,
or call me whoever. You know. And what about you? What would you say about even in terms of older guys, like let's say aunties and uncles?
It just screams culture. Cause like for me, even from the beginning, I've been thinking. I think culture is a big aspect or a big contributing factor to why people are so religious. From like background, because like we were talking about earlier, between the difference between like probably a more
have to speak louder.
Probably a more like westernized church compared to an African church, because the two cultures are different, but the way they be religious is also different because of the way their culture influences the religion. When it comes to like aunties and uncles, because they've adopted that culture from their homeland with regards to respect, you know, honor your mother and father, it makes them very narrow-minded and not look through the eyes that they're meant to look at, which is just spiritual eyes. So they adopt that cultural aspect and they bring it into the church. So where you're meant to, because what Jesus said, I'm a servant, I'm here to serve you. And I think it's very easy for the older generation to not adopt that mentality. I'm here to serve you guys. But because of the culture we're from, particularly African culture, they used to be served. You know, my dad will, when I was younger, my dad would come and fetch me from upstairs to go and take his plate. You know, that mentality is engraved within them. You're here to serve me. And if you're not, like Albert said, if you're not allowing your heart to be circumcised, you carry that into the church. And that's how you damage the young ones. No, that's how you, and that's how, like Clement is saying, that's how they're not being anointed or they're being ordained to be pastors and whatnot, and they're carrying that same mentality because they can only give what they've been taught from their parents or from their aunts.
You reap what you sow.
You reap what you sow.
So in the armor bearers at 18.
Say that again.
Yeah, what?
18-year-old pastors have been armor bearers.
Oh yeah.
I think you just said that to the camera. Look his face.
Yeah, that's.
Guys, say that loud. I got something to say to that.
18-year-old pastors are having armor bearers. If you don't know what armor bearer is, it's somebody that carries your Bible.
Jesus. I'm holding your drink. Jesus. Maybe I'll get anointed and blessed for it.
Wow.
And you know what? That's a religious mindset.
And it's guys with girls.
And guys, yeah.
Anyway, no, let's not go there.
No, I won't go there because you're a man, and you're 21, and you have like 3 girls.
Jesus.
Are your armor bearers? It don't make sense. That don't make sense to me. I'm sorry, that don't make sense. That don't make sense because well, I remember my pastor saying to me one time, never get to a position thinking, oh, I'm holy, I can have all these 5 girls around me. I'm holy, I am good, nothing will happen. You're just kidding yourself. You're kidding yourself. Because temptation is bigger than you.
Oh, it's bigger.
That's why Jesus is bigger than all of them. So Jesus will tell you to walk away. Flee from it.
Walk? No.
Run from it. So I want to ask you a question here. There was something that you shared with me. I found it quite disturbing.
Yeah.
And that was culture. When you guys, one time you said in your old church when you was praying.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to share with these guys. This is funny. This is a funny story.
So we went, in my old church, praise the Lord. We was all praying. We had a moment of just intimacy with the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
So we're just having quiet time. He's in the Word, just meditating on who the Holy Spirit is and just spending time with Jesus. And then the pastor came, and then they just left everything they was doing to go and serve the pastor, to carry his bag and to carry his jacket and stuff, and just help usher him into the room. What do you guys?
That's absurd.
So I asked Jay. I said to Jay. So that's what was Jesus doing at that time? Then you said, hold up a second. I just need to go and help out my man.
That's absurd.
So that is culture. That is culture.
Sense.
That is culture. Culture is putting the authority of a human being above what Christ says.
Yeah. Yeah.
to please mankind.
Please mankind.
And to not get into confrontation with mankind. But you got to remember, the world did not love Jesus because Jesus came to set them free, but they did not know. If you set a dog on a chain for 10 years and you take the chain off, it will still remain like it's on a chain.
Like it's on the chain.
Because the chain is an invisible chain, it's a mentality now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that can only be removed by Jesus Christ. That's what we call stronghold.
Yeah.
But that's mad though. You know, like in the olden days, you know, like they had kings, like medieval days, they had kings in it, and they would send out someone to like the village to go and decree a message. The guy would have his horn.
Yeah.
Have a mission from the king.
Yeah.
That's like worshipping the guy that's been sent over the king that sent him. It doesn't make sense.
That's
It's
true.
absurd.
Messenger.
You're worshipping the messenger over the one that sent him.
And sometimes the message don't even look good.
But you know what it is? It's easy to link because sometimes people don't even know they're in culture.
You don't know.
Because you think, I'm honouring the man of God or something.
Yeah.
But you got to think, doesn't honour belong to him first? Like, if you're having an intimate moment with him, just have the intimate moment with him. I'm sure your pastor can take his jacket.
I'm pretty sure he's more than capable.
So what is faith then? Where does faith come in? Because we said about culture, we said about religion. Where is faith in this?
I think one part I want to add that comes to mind is